Russia's war,
This is really disgusting,
taking a larger and larger civilian toll. High court confirmation begins today.
I'd like to hope that it's smooth and pleasant. Perhaps it won't be, but I'd certainly like to see the confirmation happen.
For a judge from Miami. And honoring Hispanics.
Educate our membership and have them be the true advocates on a local level.
With a summit in D.C. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Zitlali Solache.
I'm Juliana Restrepo. Today is March 21st, 2022.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
She's already a local legend, and her confirmation hearings are only getting started. From her childhood in Miami, perhaps all the way to the highest court in the land. It's the beginning of a process that's expected to end with Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson becoming Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson.
The network's Fabio Lopez from our Washington Borough is in D.C. this morning.
The Senate Judiciary hearings for Ketanji Brown Jackson are set to take place today in what will mark the beginning of her nomination process. On February 25th, President Joe Biden nominated Jackson to the Supreme Court following the announced retirement of Justice Stephen Breyer earlier this year. In the month leading up to the hearing, Jackson has met with senators on both sides of the political aisle, including her home state of Florida, with Senator Marco Rubio issuing a statement that their conversation, quote, did nothing to ease my concerns. Jackson's nomination can prove contentious as previous SCOTUS nominees have, as the likes of Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh have sparked controversy in the past. Despite the expected contentiousness, some people are excited for what Jackson's appointment may signify.
Fantastic. Representation is good in just about any case. Part of just the way the government operates, there's going to be people having questions about just about everything. I'd like to hope that it's smooth and pleasant. Perhaps it won't be, but I'd certainly like to see the confirmation happen.
This 4-day-long hearing will begin with opening statements from Senate Judiciary Committee members as well as Jackson herself. The next 2 days will be reserved for questioning from the committee, with the final day consisting of testimony from the American Bar Association and additional outside witnesses. Following the hearing, there will be a period of about a week or so in which the committee will hold a vote that, if approved, will send the nomination to the full Senate for consideration. I'm Fabio Lopez, reporting for the South Florida Media Network.
Ukraine is refusing to surrender after a vicious bombing of a building labeled children in the city of Mariupol. The Ukrainian capital has turned into a war zone. Russian President Vladimir Putin is seemingly unbothered by the increasing number of innocent lives being lost in Ukraine, who have unjustly been caught in the middle of the crossfire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is open to talking with Putin, but is worried if a truce is not made, it may only make matters worse.
This is really disgusting.
That would mean that this is a third world war.
The people of Ukraine are begging the U.S. to offer more support. President Biden will be holding a conference call with European leaders this morning and will be traveling to Europe for an emergency NATO summit on Wednesday.
Investigation this morning after 3 people are injured in an unexpected shooting on Miami Beach's Ocean Drive during spring break. It was early in the morning yesterday. The owner of the Sherbrooke Hotel in South Beach, Mitch Novick, captured the video of the crowd reacting to the gunshots. Novick says as the crowd scurried in fear, police officers ran towards the sound of gunfire to protect innocent bystanders.
The nation's largest and oldest Latino civil rights organization hosted its annual legislative summit in our nation's capital. The network's Daniela Jaramillo has more.
The League of United Latin American Citizens, known by its acronym LULAC, gathered in Washington, D.C. to discuss diverse policy issues. Discussions ranged from opportunities and barriers of technology, the importance of Latino representation in STEM positions, to the impacts of the pandemic in the community. This was actually the first time in 2 years that LULAC held its annual legislative summit in person.
Now we feel that the best way to address this is to meet as a organization and educate our membership and have them be the true advocates on a local level.
The in-person gathering also meant that some who normally wouldn't have the chance to speak one-on-one with decision makers could do so this time around.
our community is wildly underreported and wildly under-historicized, so this is definitely something that I have the opportunity to grow and learn more in.
Puerto Rico's resident commissioner, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, was part of a panel that discussed the Puerto Rico Statehood Act, a bill that she is co-sponsoring with Florida Congressman Darren Soto, who represents a district in the Sunshine State that has a significant number of Puerto Rican residents.
Many people of the island are always like second-class citizens just because of their zip code.
LULAC will host their national convention in San Juan, Puerto Rico in July, where they will discuss issues, policies, and elect the organization's national leaders. Daniel Jaramillo, South Florida Media Network.
He has a new album coming out, but that's not his only big announcement this morning.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
American Foundation for Suicide Prevention hosts an annual walk on campuses every year.
South Florida playing host to a darkness walk that's shedding light on an important issue. Don't go away. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
It's a walk to raise awareness about suicide called the Out of the Darkness Walk. It was held Saturday at FIU's main campus, and we were there to support the cause.
Reporter Nicole Castañeda has the details about this event.
In FIU's MMC campus, participants and the FIU community showed their support in a suicide prevention activity called the Out of the Darkness Walk.
American Foundation for Suicide Prevention hosts an annual walk on campuses every year to spread awareness for suicide prevention. And since we are the Student Health and Wellness Department, we partnered with them to host the event at FIU to spread awareness for the FIU community.
In the walk, we saw staff, students, and alumni all supporting this cause. There was also a fundraising for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and around $10,000 were raised. Organizers told us how the event worked.
You walk 2 miles to represent the second leading cause of death among college students, which is suicide.
And you can see participants are wearing beads of different colors to represent what cause they're supporting.
Wear a specific color if you lost a parent to suicide, if you know someone suffering from suicide, if you have a military member in the family who has been affected by suicide. So each bead represents a different color, just so everyone around you knows who you are and why you represent the cause.
As participants were doing the walk, we got the chance to speak to a family whose son was someone who died by suicide.
My son, he committed suicide.
and he was struggling through life.
He fell into a little hole of depression, and we tried to get him to therapy, but the therapy didn't come soon enough. They did his intake, but he was scheduled for September 21st, and he committed on August 25th.
And they also shared about the importance of reaching out and how important therapy is in moments of need and difficulty.
And if they need help, to reach out, because it's okay to not be okay, and a lot of people think that it's not.
If you need help, you can always contact CAPS FIU and make an appointment to receive professional attention. Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Nicole Castañeda.
Daddy Yankee is throwing the towel in and retiring. Being one of reggaeton's most well-known artists, after 32 years in the business, Daddy Yankee decides that he's ready for retirement. Some of his biggest hits are Gasolina from 2004 and Despacito. Over the course of his career, he has sold more than 30 million copies and is going to release his last tour called Legendary, and releasing the dates on Thursday.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Zitlali Solache.
I'm Juliana Restrepo. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.